Hello, Brother Monroe here. Welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts and the start of a brand new campaign. This time we're going to be playing as the Austro-Hungarian Empire, but with a couple of twists. The first twist is that, well, again, I'm doing name ships from Patreons and YouTube channel members. If you're interested in that, you can check out information down in the video description. But as well, this is going to be Imperium of Man themed, because I've always been a Warhammer person, but trying to it's maybe something that has sparked my my interest in it again. So yeah, we'll be doing quite a few names based on the Imperial Navy from 40k. A few nods to that. The other thing is, as well, I am running this on DIP version 2, of course. But I am also using Nathan Kell's Tweaks and Fixes mod. I haven't done any changes to the Dreadnought Improvement Project version 2 to take advantage of some of the extra features in Tweaks and Fixes, but it does just generally make the game run a little bit better. So if you're interested in that, you can check it out on the Game Labs forums. There's a thread on there. You can download it. It is a little complicated to install compared to DIP. You need to install Melon Loader and then put a DLL into a new folder and things like that. But other than that, it's fine. Anyway, I'm going to get this campaign generated, and I'll see you in the designer. Okie dokie. There's us into the game. Which lets us look at a little strategic overview. Obviously, all these miners down here to our southeast are potential expansion points, but that relies very much on RNG. In terms of majors that we want to have a go at, we definitely do not want to be at war with Germany or Russia, and definitely not both. Italy, we can sort of take on, especially if we have superior army logistics, but that can be very tricky. But it would let us grab Sardinia, possibly Sicily. France, very strong, but would give us North Africa. Or something in North Africa. That could be interesting. Italy as well could give us this stuff down in Somaliland. The big advantage you have as Austro-Hungary is that you're quite concentrated. And we're not really interested in far-flung colonies. We're mostly focused on the Mediterranean. So it might be worth just trying to build up and have a go at the Italians. Right. Design. Now, the other wrinkle in this campaign is we're going to be doing a no-scrap campaign. Which, because this is going to be very much Imperial Navy themed, Imperium of Man, that is, that means that old technology is to be venerated. Because it is something that is irreplaceable and worthy of, worship, almost. Now, that means we need to keep all of our ships around for as long as possible. If they get sunk, they get sunk. But, yeah, I do like the no-scrap campaigns. It's quite fun seeing old pre-dreadnoughts floating about. So, we are going to need probably only one battleship because, well, let's be honest here. Austria-Hungary doesn't start in the best state. We're definitely going to need a flagship. I tend to like spending about half my starting budget on some form of battleship. We can't even build a battleship too. We're going to have to expand our shipyard. 10,000... 10,500 though is about right for a ship like this. Would we get more out of reducing the beam and draft? Probably not, actually. Probably leave it as is. We're probably going to want minimum range 18 knots. Okay. Let's go with the good front tower. Ooh, this one is better than that one. With 3 base accuracies. Looks a bit weird with that huge rear tower. I think, yeah, purely for aesthetics. It's not as good, but it just, that looks right. Whereas the other one, even though it's mirrored towers, which I normally don't like. Funnels. Yes. 3 of them. Okay. Now, guns. Oh, we get bubble turrets. I love bubble turrets. Right, let's go with the 11s then. Maybe a bit spicy. But let's go with 11-inch guns. Yes, and if we're going with 11s, then, yeah, 5-inch casement guns. Gives us a decent secondary battery, and then could fit some 3 inches. Just might as well use up those 2 slots. And then, ooh, these come with 2 side torpedo launchers. Not all the 1890 ships are able to do that. Okay, that seems pretty solid base to work off. Keep the balanced rudder. No upgrades on any of this. Standard ratio of shells, which is normal for me. No upgrades on any of that. Enhanced reload, and we just need to do armor. Wow, this has been remarkable. Okay, it came with 0 armor by default. There's me going, oh, going quite well. Yeah, I think this is a tweaks and fixes thing that just defaults all of this to 0. Yes. Okay. So, general armor quality. I wish it was 200%. It is not. Okay. Well, people often ask me to show how I armor ships. Given that this has come with literally nothing apart from the minimum of 9-inch on the main belt, let's have a wee look, shall we? So, I can't change the length of any of these guns. So, what we're looking at with a 5-inch gun is high explosive, can go through 0.6 inches of armor. Well, actually, no, we don't have compound. Oh, great. 0.6 inches of armor, and the AP can go through 3.1. So we really want 3-inch, a 4.5 belt. That means an AP shell from a 5-inch gun cannot go through our extended belt. And it will also block high explosive from our 11-inch guns just. So we might want to up this a little bit more. But 3 is a minimum going forward. Right. It has literally no deck penetration. This thing, an AP shell can go through 0.4 inch. So if we have a main deck of 0.5, and then it can do 0.1 on the extended, so 0.2 on the extended decks, and that'll be absolutely fine. Now, our 4.5 belt logic also applies to our superstructure, so we want 3 inches there. So this is us protected against high explosive and medium caliber AP. Well, mostly. I'd like a little bit more, actually, for that. AP, from a main gun-wise, that's going to be very difficult to armor against. Next to impossible. What about a 9-inch gun? Yeah, 9-inch guns we can probably resist, maybe even a 10, but 11s and 12s, probably not. So we're probably looking at about, if we go for 12-inch, potentially, something like that. And now we're going overweight. I haven't even put turret armor on yet. So turrets probably want, ideally we'd want 16 inches on the turret. Oh, I can't even do that. Turret top is largely irrelevant. And the barbette would probably want the same as the main belt. Conning tower, want as much as possible. 10.5, okay. Casemate, or casement armor, you probably want about the same that you've got on your extended belt, so 3 and 0.2 on the tops. And we're 15% overweight. So, given that we are not even armoring against our own guns, I'm going to downgrade these from 11s to 10s. And now we're much closer, although they don't have any armour on them. Because now, with a 13-inch turret, we'll be able to protect these against themselves. And now we only have 9% weight to lose. Mostly it's on fuel, which is super annoying. Possibly if I reduce the beam. So it gets my engine efficiency up. I know that looks like it's making it worse, but now we can go to increase the displacement back again. Okay, we're still over. Right, next thing to go is probably the bulkhead protection. We could maybe... yeah, we're going to go standard. Still struggling. Most of it has gone on, like, stuff in here. The funnels are very heavy. If we drop a funnel, we're almost there. Again, you're trying to... You can't really reduce this very much. This has already been reduced as much as possible. Mid-belt. Really want to reduce the mid-belt much, although it is, I'm carrying a lot of it. I think we're going to have to mid-belt, we're just going to have to trim that down a bit. There we go. Okay, not quite the ship I wanted to build, but I think they'll do okay. I hope. They're going to be supremely vulnerable to flooding. It's my only worry. Okay, and this is going to be the... Adjudicator. Now, yeah, I think these are solid. But, yeah, I think we probably only need one or two. Let's see how many we can actually afford. Wow, that's still really slow. I was thinking, oh, it's 1890, it'll be fast. Nope. Right. We have 100 million. That single ship is nearly half our budget. So, yeah, this is just going to be the flagship. 1, please. Okay. We might be able to build more later, particularly if we refit them. But yeah. Okay, how about some armoured cruisers? We have the fast armoured... Oh, no, not that hull. Yuck. Blech. Armoured Cruiser 3, Armoured Cruiser 2. Armor Cruiser 1. What are the stats? 60, 57, 60, 30, 63. Wow, okay, not this one then. 63, 55, 52, 52, 59, 65. I think I'm going to go with an Armor Cruiser 2. We're going to target 5,000 tons. But we're going to do this on reduced beam, reduced draft. Let's just make that minus 10. Minus 5. 5,000 tons exactly. I didn't even remember how fast I made the adjudicators. 18. Okay. 18 knots. This is going to be the Cardinal. Yeah, we're going to have this looking very similar to the battleship. Basically a miniature battleship with extraordinarily tall towers. Let's go with the same dual funnel setup. Tempting though it is to stick 10-inch guns on here. I think 7s probably going to be all we can get away with. Let's go 7s. 7s and 4s. And 2s. This also can deploy 2 torpedoes aside. Standard, none. Okay. Then we have 5% to put on armor. Oh, bugger. Oh, iron plate is just the worst. Basically, because it gives you absolutely nothing. It's pretty awful. Right, we probably want about like a 6-inch main belt. The extended can probably be pretty thin to guard against HE. Possibly 1.5. I'd like... Oh, fuck me. 2. Deck armor could probably almost do away with. But you need to have at least some. Really, you can put 10.5. 7 would be fine. Yeah, these only need 7.3 and 7. 2. 6%. Oh man, I already cut these to the bone. Oh. Okay, screw it. You're getting 1 funnel. And atrocious engine efficiency. It is cute though. Look at it. It is a cute little thing. Maybe try and build 2 of these. Possibly. 2 would be about right. That basically gives us the flagship, 2 kinda okay ships. Yeah, build 2. How much money do I have left? 30 million. Okay. Now, a light cruiser. Oh. Oh. Interesting. 225. So we want to make this thing as small and as light as possible. This is just to provide a little bit of cover for us against torpedo boats. 2.5. 2. Yeah, 2's the best. Okay. A funnel. Maybe 2. If we're lucky. Guns. 5-incher. 4 and aft, perhaps. And then a bunch of 2-inch guns on the side. And a couple in the casemate. Oh, they get a forward casemate. Casement gun. I can never... Please tell me which one it is, somebody. I keep meaning to check, and I still don't know. I think it's supposed to be casement gun, like a casement in a window, but it's written casemate, so it's very confusing. Let's go standard. Let's make them 2,000 tons even. Standard, enhanced reload. Okay. Okay, and then these can have a little bit of armor. We probably want a 3-inch main belt, so they can block a 5-inch gun. And then on the extenders, probably not very much, like an inch. And then the decks, absolutely, totally minimal. Tower, like 3-inch. Something like that. 1% overweight. Even when you go super, super minimal with it. Yeah, it's because the dual funnels. You're only getting one. Sorry. Actually, that saves a ton of weight. What about using 2... Can I get 2 standard funnels in instead? Yes, I can. Okay, that's probably a better bet then. Let's do that. Again, all these Austrian ships kind of getting a nice, cohesive looking fleet in a way. Anyway, the Enforcers. Yes, save. How many of these can we afford? Again, I probably want to spend about half my remaining budget on them. So we've got 30 million. There's basically 6 each. We could build, in theory, as many as 5. Wow. Let's build 3. And that leaves us 12 million to build some torpedo boats. Torpedo boats, torpedo boats, torpedo boat. Wow. You can make these things go insanely fast. This is going to be the... Actually, do you know what? I'm going to keep the Python. Not actually an Imperial Navy name, but totally could have been, given that they have the Cobra and Viper class ships that would fulfill this sort of role. Funnels, probably just a single funnel. Can we really make these things just do 29? Just right off the bat? That would be amazing. Maximum bulkheads. The OP torpedo boat meta. Let's give them 3 2-inch guns. Because they're mostly going to be fighting other torpedo boats, I would imagine. And let's give them... No, 3 is too many. 2 torpedo launchers on the back. Enhanced reload. Extra torps? No, no way. Not a hope. But we can enhance their range. Okay, these things are going to be front-line combatants for us. Let's make them 250 even. Actually, we could probably make them just smaller and cheaper. Yeah, can we go 220? 230. 230, there we go. 230-ton little teeny tiny torpedo boat with 2 torpedo launchers and 1.5 million a pop. Not terrible, but probably not going to be amazing. Okay, let's save that design. So, what did I have left? Like 12 million, and they're 1.5 each. Was it 12? 12.7. Yeah, so let's just call it 12 divided by 1.5 is 8. So we can build 8 of these little guys. Right, now, deployment is going to be interesting. So, Pula, Splato, Kataro. So Pula is our biggest port. We're going to deploy the Judicator there. And the other two, and the 2 armoured cruisers to the other 2 ports. So we have a flagship in each port. We're going to have a light cruiser in each port. And then three torpedo boats in... Oh no, we've got more. Yeah, 3 torpedo boats in Pula. 3 torpedo boats in Spalato, and the remaining 2 can go in Kataro. Okay. Okay. All right. Goodness me. Now, normally what I do with named ships is I wait a little bit, because these very early ships, I would normally scrap them, but I'm not going to be scrapping these. So, I will think about that, but we've got such a small fleet at the moment, that I'll have a look at my list, and I'll end the turn, and I'll sort out the finances. Okay. Here is our initial budget. I've maxed out the transport capacity because this will pay dividends immediately. I'm building a little bit of shipyard capacity, not a lot, just to try and get that going. Crew training at 25, tech budget at 43, but I'm going to switch all of the ships to limited. I was going to tick this button before I forget. That should give us a little bit more money. Yes, it does. So I'm going to up tech spending because what I really want to do is to get just to get the tech spending going, because as a smaller economy, we're going to be struggling there. How is our economy actually? 9.6. Japan has 7. Spain has 7.6. So we're behind even the Russians. Our economy is not in a good state. We're a constitutional monarchy, it's not the worst. We've got the centre party in charge, again, not the worst. It's not the best either, but, 9.9% growth is pretty solid. Nothing compared to the US, France, even China, weirdly. But, yes, this is how we're going to have to proceed. Britain and France don't like us. That's not the worst thing in the world. The Russians not liking us. Army logistics, fucking hell. 3% we're starting off with. Everybody's starting off with garbage army logistics, though. What kind of fleets are we looking at? So the British have 7 battleships. The Germans 5. China actually has a reasonably sized fleet. France going with the min-max fleet, which I love it. Italy, though, who's one of our biggest rivals, no heavy ships. Russians don't have any heavy ships either, nor do the Spanish. So us, with our... I know we only have 1, but we do have 1 battleship and 2 armoured cruisers. Maybe we can pull this off. Anyway, research is going to be priority number 1 for us. Right, let's see if anything happens early on. Okay, the very next turn we get compound armour, which... yeah, okay. Sure, play me like that game. It's pretty rough when you don't start with compound. It's not a big enough thing for me to worry about. Now, I am tempted to just immediately start prioritising engines, because engines give you such a huge boost that sometimes it's worth just getting on top of that. But we have other problems. We need to keep our economy going. I think I just need generalized tech research. Once the transport capacity is up to 200%, then we can start worrying about other things. But yeah, Austria, man, it's a fun old country to play. And the reason I wanted to play Hungary is because, of course, I haven't played a campaign on 1.6 at all. So this is very much me looking for things that DIP version 2 should be doing. And I've actually started to work on DIP version 3, which is going to be very exciting. So hopefully the next campaign will be able to do that. But at the moment, DIP version 3 is really not ready because you can't end the turn and everything is broken. So, yeah, yay for hot code. Okay, a little while later, we have finished our shipyard expansion. We've got the tech budget up to 100%. Transport capacity is now at 143%, which is fantastic. We also have a minor ally. We have Mexico as an ally. And I am building 2 Python-class torpedo boats for them. Just to give us a little bit of money in the old naval funds. Now, I think I want to keep expanding the shipyards, but it's probably going to be, yeah, a little bit too expensive to do that. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase crew training instead to... yeah, let's say 75%. I don't really care about the crew pool increasing, but I do care about getting our ships to not be crewed by cadets. Not that we're expecting a war immediately, but it's quite possible that we're going to end up in a war with the Russians. Now, an early war with Russia, I did say right, like not 10 minutes ago. I don't want to be like at war with Russia. Their army logistics is 3, ours is 5. So it's hardly a massive advantage that they have. Naval war with Russia doesn't really get us anything. Sure, we can sail into the Black Sea and attack them there. But we're nowhere near being able to navally invade anywhere. So early wars are not really going to benefit as much. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time cozying up to the Russians. And continuing to sit here and pray that nobody decides that they want the Austro-Hungarian Empire as a light snack. Okay, sometime later, we now have positive relations with the Russian Empire. Perfect. One of the things that has been improved with this version of DIP compared to the previous version that I was playing the American campaign on is you can do this every turn. There's no cooldown. Well, there is. There's one turn. So you can do it once per turn. So if you're trying to improve relations with, say, the Russians, every turn you can go to the politics screen and hit improve relations. You don't have to try and remember every other turn, which is good. The other thing is you can do that with naval invasions too. So you can launch a naval invasion every single turn if you wish to, which makes juggling multiple naval invasions much easier. Right, I think the other thing we should probably start doing then is a charm offensive on the British and French so they don't hate us. We just kind of want to stay on everybody's good side. Everybody's good side. We're making a fair bit of money now. So I'm going to see if I can do a 12-month expansion of the shipyards. Yes, I can. Good, good, good. How's the research looking? Well, we've unlocked a few things. I'm about to get the semi-armoured cruiser. Not a huge fan of the semi-armoured cruisers. They can be okay, but to be honest, most of the time they're not worth it. All right. Let's see what happens. Right. Again, a few months later, we are building a few more ships for the Mexicans. 2 Enforcer class and 3 Pythons. This is again just letting us build up a nice little lump sum of naval funds. If you're wondering why it went down, it's because I got an event that did that. And we've already maxed the transport capacity, so we're not going to get any more benefit from juicing this. So we're just going to reduce that to 0.6, and we're gonna max these two out. Now this means I'm going to be making a lot of extra money a turn. Early on in the campaign, the reason I'm making so much money is because I have a fairly small fleet. We only have 14 ships compared to the Germans with 41, or some of the other large. Actually, most of the navies are pretty small, but if ours are also not very expensive, and we're keeping all of them on limited. Early on in the game, you do not want a big fleet because basically the more ships you build, the harder it is to make more money because you're paying a lot in maintenance. So yeah, just gonna have to stick with it. Right, okay. Welcome back. It's now January of 1892. I've popped a research priority into engines, which does cut the time down significantly. Because, yeah, getting expansion engines is a hell of a lot better than the basic steam engines. What a new light cruiser coming up. Light Cruiser 2. Might be worth looking at, but I'm pretty sure we can just keep our current ones. We don't need to build more ships right now. Our fleet is actually competitive. I think more what we should be looking at is a refit, probably around 1895 or so. Possibly more ships. But no, things just pottering along quite nicely. Nothing is wrong. Everything is fine. Right, it's now September. We have unlocked that Light Cruiser 2. But let's just say we were proving popular with the Mexicans. Selling a whole bunch of stuff to them. Normally I'm not... I normally say no, because normally my shipyards are completely full doing my own stuff. But because it's very early, and I'm basically waiting for this so I can do a refit of my existing ships. Now's the perfect time to build a bunch of stuff for the Mexicans. So we'll get on with that. Our economy has grown to 15.7 billion, which actually is pretty good. We're kind of trade in place with the US. The US is a funny one. It starts off very, very low and then explodes later on. Yeah, ooh, we've overtaken the Italians. Still behind the Russians. And then we've got the big boys up at the top. Looks like Britain and Germany don't like each other. We're probably going to get dragged into that. If that is the case, then I don't mind going to war with Britain because we can try and get Malta, which, at least in this version of Dreadnoughts, is relatively easy. But we do not have a fleet big enough to do it. Not by a long shot. So we would have to just basically sit in port and raid out and try and annoy the British. We're not really in a place to go on the offense. Getting a new hull anytime soon? Nope. Cool beans. Right, welcome back. It's now June of 1894. I'm 1 month away from getting engines, but the reason I'm back is because it said Italy had attacked Montenegro, which the Russians didn't like. But why I'm fine with it, I have no idea. That really pisses me off. So I'm going to start increasing tensions with Italy a little bit. I think it's time we told them what for. Which one gives me more GDP? Let's go for this one. Thank you. Britain and Germany are at war. Oh dear. But we do get the triple expansion engine, which is lovely. Here we go. A little bit of unrest because they've sent this fleet, which means they're going to take Montenegro. I really don't want them taking Montenegro, so I'm going to try and beat them up. But the problem is they have higher army logistics than I do. Army logistics is the bane of my existence. Probably because they have a higher tonnage of ships, which means we need more ships. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our existing ships improved. So the main one, steam multiple expansion engine, that does all sorts of good things, and compound armor, which also does all sorts of good things. And also bring an anti-torpedo belt, which early on is pretty huge, as is reinforced bulkheads and an anti-flooding system. We can swap out brown for white powder and the black powder for gun cotton. Again, very helpful. We could get 16-edge torps as well, and a rangefinder so we can actually hit something, and advanced hydraulic turrets so they can actually turn, but they're too heavy for now, anyway. Yes, because with now that we're up to 28% armor quality, now our armor is actually looking pretty darn bang on. It'll take 2 months to do the adjudicator and get her up to a slightly better standard. But yes, I think this'll be a nice little upgrade for her. Let's do the same for the Cardinal. The multi-expansion, give them a balanced rudder too. Compound armor, anti-torpedoes, reinforce those bulkheads, get an anti-torp in there, get rid of this brown powder, black powder stuff, give them a bigger torpedo, and a rangefinder, which means they might be able to hit the side of a barn from the inside. Let's do the same for the enforcers. Steam, multiple expansion, compound, anti-flood, reinforced bulkheads, white powder and gun cotton, and a bigger torpedo. And a rangefinder. Ooh, maybe you can get the advanced hydraulic turrets. most useful on a small ship. And they still have 3% weight back. Let's increase them to many bulkheads to make them a little bit more resilient. And then I'm also going to update our... Am I going to update the pythons? No, the pythons are fine. Let's keep them cheaper. Let's build some more pythons. I think that's what we need to be doing. So that we have a little bit of a bigger fleet. But let's refit all of these. And see where we are. It's only going to take 1-2 months. We have a little bit of capacity, which is perfect. Let's build some more pythons. How many can I build? Well, actually, it'll tell me. So 41,912. 41,912 minus 32,500 is 9,412, and they're 230 each. Wow, I can build like 40 of them. Let's build 10 for ourselves so that we have a little bit more fleet. And let's have a look at the research. What do we... Let's take that off. Where are we? No, that's not giving me anything interesting. That gives me the Battleship 2, but we're a fair ways off that. We're about to get the Mark II 9 and the Mark II 3-inch. But, yeah, I think we're okay. I think we're looking pretty peachy, actually. Let's keep expanding that shipyard. How's our economy looking? 19.4. Not the worst. Not the worst. Right, let's keep pissing off those Italians. Right, I'm going to end the episode here. And I will see you again soon for some more Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Bye for now.